Well, hey everybody, Wes McDonald here. I'm the Chief Noisemaker at Tigerpaw Software, and I want to thank you for tuning in to today's video. I'm going to take you through our Tech Utilization Calculator. And when time equals money, utilization matters. As we know, of all our resources, time is the scarcest. Time is non-renewable, finite, and extremely difficult to manage effectively. If you provide professional and technical services, how you utilize time has a huge impact on how profitable you are. So the calculator that we're going to go through today will help you identify areas for improvement to increase both your utilization rates and lead to additional revenue without having to hire more technicians. What could you do with those extra dollars? How much stronger would your business be? What new areas of growth could you explore with your improved financial position? Let your imagination run wild. So without further ado, let's jump into the calculator and help you to run a better business so you can sleep better at night. All right, everybody, here we are back in the calculator. And as you can see at the top, the most important stuff is the profit increase that you're going to see as we better utilize how you're using your tech staff. I want to take a quick walk through just the structure of the document so you understand how you're going to be using it. So first, there are some general instructions here at the top. And in scenario one, you can see what your typical utilization might look like today, which is probably lower than it should be. And when we look at the different resources you have, we have it split into junior technical resources, intermediate resources, and also your senior technicians. What we can then do is fill in the section here for the number of heads that you have for each section. And it's important that these are variable so that you can fill in your real numbers to see what that looks like. What I'm going to do is start to fill these in now. And as you hover over a cell, you can see that it actually does give you some tips. So I can see the number of junior technicians is what I'm looking for here. I'm going to say for this organization that I've probably got 10 of those. And so I'm going to input the information here for 10 junior technicians. Then for intermediate, maybe we've got 5 of those folks with a little more technical knowledge. And for our senior group, the most expensive ones, we probably have 2. The next thing we need to do is understand what we're paying as a company for those technicians. So just looking at some typical rates, which are going to vary across the board depending on which part of the country that you're located in. I'm going to say that the cost for a junior rep is probably $60 an hour for us. For an intermediate rep, $75. And for our most senior technicians, $90 per hour. Now the question becomes, what do we actually bill these technicians out for? And we'll say here that for the junior rep that we bill out $75 per hour, and that for an intermediate, $95 per hour, and for our most senior, $120 per hour. Now the next thing is available hours for work. Typically that is obviously 40 hours, but it depends how you set that up. Some organizations do like to have a 39-hour work week, including the breaks, and we'll just go with 40 for these, but we'll say that for the senior technicians, that we have 35 available hours for those assets. Once we have that filled out, now you need to input the actual amount of billable hours that you're getting out of these technical resources today. So for the junior technician, we can say that maybe we're getting 20 billable hours out of them. And for the intermediates, because they do have some other tasks, they're a little more skilled, probably working on some things for you internally, that maybe we're looking at about 25 hours of billable hours for them. And for the senior technicians, looking at them as a most senior asset, maybe we're actually getting fewer billable hours out of them because they really are handling more of the, the tougher items in the organization. And we'll say that for the case of the example that it's 15 hours, billable hours that we're getting for them. What the calculator does is once we input that information, it automatically shows us over here what the utilization rates are. So you can see that for the junior reps, we're at 50% utilization, for the intermediate 63%, and for the senior technicians that we're at 43%. So it does show us the revenue per week that we're actually earning that in the next column. And you can see that this is a sad situation because obviously we're losing $9,000 of profit per week for the juniors, $3,100 for the intermediates, and for the senior reps, $2,700 a week. And this is obviously not an ideal situation, and once you have your numbers put into the calculator, you'll see what that actually means for you. So for the total hours per work per year, we're going with 50. You can change that, it depends on how your schedule works. and it does work out our total profit for the year, which is a dismal minus $741,000. Now, what the calculator does in scenario 2 is we're going to start looking at how we can better optimize these. You don't have to fill anything else out. Everything is here ready to go for you, except for the number of billable hours per week. And as a standard, if you look out in the industry, it's anywhere between 75 and 85% utilization rates. So we're going to try and marry that as much as we can. What you'll notice now is that on the lower techs, we're still losing a little bit of money. And that tells us something. Perhaps we've got to be charging more for what their services are, because if they're utilized at that rate, we should be making profit off them. It's not so bad for the weekly profit for the intermediate reps at $11.50, and for the senior technicians, which we should be making more for, we're only making $840 in profit per week for them. So again, what that allows us to do is look back at what our rates are per hour, and maybe we've got to charge more for those. Now, in this particular example, we'll just look at the improvements for utilization. And here's what happens, which is great. That before, the total profit per year that we were making with an underutilized tech team was a loss of $741,000 in profit a year. Well, just by increasing the utilization rates here without touching any of their billable hour rates, we've actually increased that to $24,500. Again, the calculator allows you now to use it as a way to look at your business model. Are you charging enough, right? Are the utilization rates realistic for the kind of staff that you have? Are there duties that you could remove from some of your intermediate techs and put onto your junior techs, which are costing you less, to be able to free up some more of those premium billable hours? So those are the basics of the calculator. I hope you found today's lessons useful. And remember, reach out to us. We'd love to help you more with your tech utilization rates. And we actually have an e-guide directed for this specifically, so make sure you do get in touch with us. You can also check out www.tigerpaw.com/resources for a ton of other learning education designed to help you better your business so you can sleep better at night. Until next time, keep learning.